Hey, it's Saturday. I got 3 things I want to do today. 1, I want to figure out how to put dings in my videos. 2, I want to figure out how to cook delicious food on this griddle, like maybe for a dinner party. And 3, I've been working on a secret project for St. Louis. This book means programming, and so I'm going to do some programming of some sort or another. Gotta do a little bit every day. So it's already 1:15. I just kind of got up. It takes like 4 or 5 hours to actually put a YouTube video together, like 4 hours of editing for 20 minutes of crappy footage. Then another God knows how long to actually upload it. I tried staying up, I ended up falling asleep. One of the things I learned from watching 4 hours of myself is that I don't come across anywhere near the energy level that I think that I'm communicating at. In fact, it's way less. I think to do this well, gotta become a lot more bombastic. And one other thing, I end most of my sentences and most of my thoughts with either an and or a so. Really, I need pauses at the end of my statements, or else it's just one continuous flow. One of the other hard parts is that I need to always stare at the lens and not up here at my face. But there's a face and it's moving, so it's hard. I'm back. Here is the haul. We got meat, got onions, more like onions, and then eggs. And so you can see there's writing on here. This is actually a giant deep freezer that I got off Craigslist for like $100. It's awesome. It's from the 50s. It's a monster. That's actually what it's called, monster. But yeah. Keep any dead bodies in there? Shut up. That's the main joke people make when they see it. But it's really, really useful. One night, I had a nacho night, and so I wrote like the instructions for all the nachos on here. But then I kind of stayed. So I haven't gotten alcohol to like wipe that off yet. So I pretty much figure the only people watching this at the start will be my parents and me. And my parents have, for the longest time, never seen either of my housemates. In fact, they're convinced they don't exist. Well, here we have indisputable proof that Andy lives here. I'm gonna have to work on Tom. I'm not sure how to shoot a cooking segment, so pretty much I think I love Gordon Ramsay's YouTube channel, just gotta get way up close and get a bunch of the sound. This is not at our house. This is not the same house we were just in. Just in case our landlord sees. My girlfriend got me this sushi eating set. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's time to bust it out. Oh, wow. There's a bunch of little things. Okay. Man, this is some high. Alright, so we've got it all washed off. Time to kick this up to, I don't know, let's start with 300. Alright, first thing is going to be whatever this is. I don't really think it's worth the price, but I was curious because it looks really flat. So I think I gotta start with the meat so this gets all greasy and whatever. Can you hear that sizzle? Gordon Ramsay style cooking videos. Oh, that's quite slippery. Oh dang, look at that. Oh man, maybe this shouldn't be this high. That's really cooking it. Jeez. Need some salt. And then I think this one is ready for a taste test. Of course. This didn't, I totally messed that one up. I was curious how this will all work. I'm like, I put it up to 300, it was way too hot. Like, insanely, like, even right now, that's kind of... So next time, I think I need to make some rice too. Grabbing it. That is actually really good. That was actually pretty fun. I think I'm gonna need to figure out some real recipes, but there is this right here. I need to find a big block, or not big block, big slab of wood, and then a way to hold it up so I can put that griddle over on here, and then dinner party. Just gotta get enough good ingredients all kind of in the right place. Unfortunately, my pants were a casualty. I actually didn't go to school to be a programmer. I went there for communications, so journalism, advertising, PR, those kinds of things. And after I graduated, I actually lived out of my parents' house. I worked at a pizza place for 9 months, Dewey's, which is awesome, and I taught myself how to code. Then, kind of magically, just out of the blue, the world appeared to me. I went and I applied to LaunchCode out of St. Louis, and through that I got placed with Chris Oliver doing Ruby on Rails stuff, and that kind of kicked me off. And so I've written I can't do that justice here. I'm a lot better at writing than I am at making videos right now, and I'll put those links to that below if you're curious. Suffice it to say, a lot of people ask me, how do I do that? They want to do the same thing. And probably the most common question that I get asked is, what programming language should I choose? You, brand new to programming, you don't know anything, you want to build your career there. Kind of got a couple responses to that. And the first one is just that programming is not an easy meal ticket. Programming isn't easy. There's a reason programmers get paid so much. It's hard. It's to understand the world well enough that you can break it down into such explicit pieces that you can tell a computer how to do it. That's hard. That requires a lot of work. It requires a lot of stuff over a good deal of time. And so I say this because a lot of places say it isn't. The second thing is, what programming language should I choose? Well, you're actually making two decisions there. Your first decision is, of course, programming language, but the second decision, and the more important of the two, is what kind of place tends to use the kind of programming language that I'm going to learn. Because the second decision is a social one. Who do you want to work with? What kinds of companies do you want to work at? And so the right way to answer that question is to, what companies do you really like? Knowing yourself with your own awareness of what works and what doesn't work for you. What kind of places do you want to go be at? And when you know the answers to those questions, go look at those places, see what they use, then go learn that. Your first programming language will matter way more based on you optimizing for your own happiness, because when you do that, you will get through the hard stuff. You'll actually make it. And if you don't know, then the only right answer is to go and build things for people, like to use programming to go and make something for somebody else that's useful. Because I promise you, it'll make you really happy when you know that you went and you made the world better with something that you built. And so that's addictive. It's very addictive. And once you kind of get through there's at the start, there's a bunch of acclimation that needs to happen. There's like a bunch of concepts, weird things, you just gotta wrap your mind around it. It's not that any one thing is that difficult, it's that there's so many, and they combine in such complex ways. So for example, in the St. Louis area, if you want to work at a big enterprise place, go learn Java. If you want to work in kind of like the startup scene, kind of the more consulting scene, go learn some Rails. And then if you want to go work with maybe smaller teams but in a larger company, or maybe who knows where, everybody needs right now mobile developers, so iOS and Android. So there's a bunch of different kinds of companies within that. There's like agencies, there's large consulting companies, there's companies that are their own company that sell their own thing, but they need to be able to do that with a bunch of programming tools. So like maybe a clothing chain. There are a crap load of different places that you could go, and the reason why is because the net result of any kind of programming is to lower the total amount of work that happens in the world. So like every place, the internet software is eating everything. The reason why it's doing that is because it can reduce the total amount of work needed. And so this kind of gets into, I'm just going on a rant right now. So the other thing about programming is that if you really think about what thing in the world, what other thing is programming most like, the answer is actually, in my opinion, rhetoric. So like musty old dudes, musty old Roman dudes talking about stuff like that, old Greek guys and stuff. And it's because with rhetoric, the point of it is measured by the impact it has on the other person. That's like, you don't speak just to speak. You speak to have some effect. In the same way, broadly, the justification for programming existing is that you create something for some other purpose. You don't merely create something for itself. Like, it's inherently tied with its value to other people. In a lot of ways, this is like the first principle of the internet, is if you can enable a kind of communication between two individuals that is more efficient and more valuable than beforehand, that's money. So maybe that means a computer does a bunch of crunching. Maybe that means the computer makes that communication available at all in a specific way. Whatever, but if you go back and you look at every major internet company that has done incredible big things, it's just about that. It's just about facilitating information between two people. So, hey, I would like to buy this product. Yes, you can buy this product. Maybe that kind of communication. Maybe completely different things like YouTube. What programming language should I choose? Well, what kind of company do you want to work at? What kind of things do you want to work on? If you don't optimize for your own happiness, then you won't get through the hard stuff. So that's actually the most important question. Here in my garage, I'm kidding. I'm not feeling like doing any programming right now. And the reason why is because I woke up late. If I wake up before 9 a.m., I'm going all day. But because I've been fighting off sickness, I want this entire week to be good. It's more valuable than 1 or 2 days. So no alarm, been waking up whenever, been waking up really late. So that means that I don't feel like programming today. I think I'm gonna choose one thing and do that. And if I get in the mood, keep going. If I don't, then I got something done. Otherwise, I'm gonna figure out how to... So to kind of continue on with that story, I got placed in launch code. I ended up at a company with Chris Oliver, and he left 3 months in. I took over the Rails development for there for 2 years. After that, I kind of went freelance. I've been doing that for maybe 6 months now. And honestly, I kind of suck at it, and that's because for a lot of that time, I wanted to be buried in code. And really, what I needed to do was go talk to people. Go talk to all kinds of people all the time. So I've been able to start doing that. It's working. I mean, I'm still able to support myself, but I'm still not good. I'm still not that great. I've got kind of some good technical chops. Could definitely work on my communication, which this is a major part of that. And then I could definitely work on meeting more people and then being really helpful to them. And I think that's the major thing that I need to do over the next month or two. The other thing I just realized, sitting here talking about this stuff, thinking about it, is that every day when I wake up, I've got a little struggle to get through. Whenever I wake up, I'm not feeling the fire. So I've got to somehow, some way, usually it happens through reading, sometimes it happens through really digging into a given problem. Gotta feel the fire. Gotta like turn my brain on, cook it up to that higher level where all the work I put out is good, so I don't have to touch it again. And if I'm not at that level, if I can't manage myself to get there, then I've done something wrong, and I need to learn how to do that better. So right now, I might actually be in that phase of the day where I haven't clicked on yet, and I don't know if that will happen because I slept in so late. So I don't know what to do with my day. Neither does Spurbs.
Yeah, no idea.
Kinda, could you go to Starbucks, work on some stuff, or head over to my parents' house. My younger brother leaves tomorrow, but my mom wants nothing to do with being on film, so that would cut out. No more vlog for today. So, would you want to go somewhere and hack on something?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm down.
Where at?
We can go to Starbucks or something, I guess.
Okay. Well, I guess that's what's happening. I'm all packed. Andy's getting ready. We're gonna head off to Starbucks. One of the things about living in St. Louis is that walking around with a camera like this, yesterday people on the sidewalk were looking at me like I was crazy. One of the things about St. Louis is that people here, I think, tend to care a lot more about looking successful than actually being successful or trying things. My plan to get into Starbucks with this camera eventually, not yet, because that would freak them out right now, is just every time when I'm ordering, just have the camera out and then go there at enough different shifts, different times, that they all get familiar with the idea that I'm doing a vlog. Then one day I can roll in and maybe interview them. Like, who are you? What are you doing at Starbucks? Like, because I know there are some people there who love it. They, like, that's their job. They love doing it. And then there are other people there who like, obviously it's a stepping stone, but to what? From what? So I'm just kind of curious about how all that works, and kind of want to spread the notion of people just doing things in St. Louis. It's 8 o'clock. Time to head out. Just got back from Starbucks. Got a bunch of good things done. In 1 week, there will be a LAN party at my house, and that will be the perfect excuse to do that dinner thing that I was talking about. So that got set up today. Completely designed through the application that I'm making that I can't talk about yet because it's a surprise for someone's birthday and they might see this. The other thing is figured out the development path that I wanted to take for it. So it's already like approaching 8:15, 8:30. I'm still feeling pretty tired. I want to wake up early tomorrow. I want to get back to it. I think hopefully this little sick spree is completely over. And so that means that this is probably midnight.